Hey everyone, welcome back. So you want to be a carpenter, right? Well, today we're going to make sure you're ready to ace that job interview coming up. We're using RoleCatcher's Carpenter, the complete career interview guide, and it's packed with useful stuff.
It really is. We're going to cover so much good stuff today to really help you land that dream carpentry job.
Awesome. So this guide has 10 common interview questions, and some of them, well, they might seem kind of simple, but I think they can be tricky.
Yeah, you're right. Interviewers use these questions to figure out how you think, how you solve problems, and if you really have passion for carpentry.
Totally. Let's dive into one. What inspired you to become a carpenter? Now, I'm guessing most people would just say they like working with their hands, but how can we make that answer better?
Tell a story. Think about what got you interested in carpentry. Was it building something as a kid? Did you have a mentor? Share that story. Let the interviewer see how much you love it.
That's a really good point. It's about that excitement, that drive to build. Okay, this next one is something I think about a lot. How do you ensure your projects meet safety standards? What's the key thing interviewers are looking for with this one?
They want to see that you think about safety all the time, like it's built into every single thing you do.
Makes sense. It's more than just knowing the rules. It's about really living them on the job.
Exactly. And use specific examples. Talk about a time you spotted a problem and fixed it, or how you made the job site safer for everyone.
Right, those details really matter. And, RoleCatcher talks about using the STAR method. That's situation, task, action, result. It's like giving the interviewer a clear picture of your experience.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Okay, this next question is interesting to me. How do you approach a project with a limited budget? Have you ever had an unlimited budget?
Never. It's all about being creative and using your resources wisely.
Exactly. So how do we impress the interviewer when they ask about this?
Don't just talk about limitations, talk about solutions. Like maybe you'd suggest using reclaimed wood or finding deals on materials. Show them you can think outside the box.
That's a great way to look at it. It shows you're not just a builder, but a problem solver. And speaking of problem solving, did you know RoleCatcher can analyze your answers and suggest ways to make them even better for specific jobs?
Yeah, it's like having your own personal interview coach right there on your phone.
That's so cool. Like if a company really cares about sustainability, RoleCatcher might tell you to talk about your experience with eco-friendly materials. Okay, ready for another question?
Let's do it.
All right, how about this one? How do you handle difficult clients or situations on a project? I feel like everyone has a story about this.
Oh, definitely. But remember, it's not about bad-mouthing anyone. It's about showing you can stay calm, solve problems, and keep everyone happy.
Right. So no ranting about that one client who insisted on using, like, plywood instead of oak.
Right. Talk about a time you turned a tough situation around, where you used your communication skills to find a solution that worked for everyone.
This is great. I'm learning so much. Okay, this next question from the guide is a big one. How do you stay up to date with current building techniques and materials? Things are always changing, aren't they?
For sure, you got to keep learning to stay on top.
So how do we show the interviewer that we're always learning? Should we just list all the carpentry blogs we read?
It's better to show them, not just tell them. Give examples. Did you go to a workshop recently? Are you part of an online group where carpenters share new ideas?
Ah, so it's about showing them you're passionate and proactive about staying current. I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of passion, how about this one? How do you manage a team of carpenters on a project? Because now you're not just building a deck, you're building a team too, right?
Exactly. This is about showing your leadership, communication, and how you motivate others.
Okay, so what kind of story works best for this?
Talk about a time you successfully led a team, even if it was a smaller project. Did you face challenges? How did you work together to overcome them? Did you clearly explain tasks and responsibilities?
It's like you're painting a picture of yourself as someone who can lead a team to success. And speaking of success, I love that RoleCatcher's AI can even listen to how you're talking, like your tone of voice, and give feedback.
Yeah, it's amazing. It can tell you if you sound nervous or confident, which is really helpful.
That is so cool, because it's not always just about what you say, it's about how you say it, right?
Absolutely. Confidence is everything in an interview.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next question. And this one's a biggie. How do you handle unexpected challenges during a project? Because let's face it, something always comes up, right?
Always. It's part of the job, but it's about how you handle it. Show them you're a problem solver who can think on their feet and adapt to anything.
So instead of panicking, we need to channel our inner Bob the Builder.
Exactly. Think of a time you had a big challenge on a project, like maybe the materials arrived late. Tell them how you thought it through, made a plan, and kept things moving.
Okay, I'm liking this. It's about showing them you can stay calm, be resourceful, and get the job done. And speaking of getting the job done, RoleCatcher talks about this next question. How do you ensure your work meets or exceeds client expectations? I feel like everyone says they go the extra mile, but what's a better way to answer this?
Stories. Give a real example of a time you went above and beyond for a client.
Like maybe you finished a project earlier than expected.
Exactly. Or you found a way to use their ideas in the design. Little things like that. It shows you really care.
Okay, so we've talked about exceeding expectations, but how about when things don't go as planned? This question from the guys is a tough one. How do you handle a project that falls behind schedule? Because it happens, right?
It definitely happens. It's not about never being behind schedule. It's about how you handle it when you are.
That's a great point. It's about showing them you're proactive, a problem solver, and can handle the pressure.
Exactly. Pick a story about a time when a project was delayed. Tell them how you told the client and what steps you took to get back on track. Did you have to change the timeline or prioritize different tasks?
It's so important to be upfront and honest with the client, isn't it?
Absolutely. Clients really appreciate honesty and a clear plan to fix the problem.
Okay, love that. For our last question from the guide today, let's talk about experience. The question is, can you describe a complex project you worked on from start to finish? It doesn't have to be, some crazy complicated project, right?
No, not at all. Just choose something that shows off your skills and what you can do.
So what kind of project do you think would really impress an interviewer?
Maybe a project with unique challenges, or one where you had to come up with creative solutions. It could be a custom piece you built, a tough renovation, even a difficult repair. Anything that lets you show off your expertise.
Once we've picked our project, how do we explain it to the interviewer?
Start by setting the scene. What was the project? Then go through each stage of the process. What did you specifically do? What were the challenges?
So talk about the planning, the problems, the solutions.
Exactly. And the results. Was the project on time and within budget? Were the clients happy? Make them really see the project and how you made it a success.
That's perfect. It's about bringing that project to life for them and showing your passion and your skills. Speaking of which, we've talked about how RoleCatcher can help tailor your answers for specific jobs, but what if you need help with how you're presenting yourself?
RoleCatcher can help you with that too. Its AI can actually analyze your tone of voice and pacing to give you feedback on how you come across.
Wow, seriously. It's like having an interview coach right in your pocket.
Right. It can tell you if you sound nervous or confident, which can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And we've talked about how important confidence is for a good interview.
It really is key. And the more you practice, the more confident you'll be. RoleCatcher gives you the tools to practice and go into that interview feeling prepared.
Love it. They've got your back. We've covered so much today, nailing interview questions, showing your passion, and even how to use AI to improve your answers. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to something we talked about earlier, storytelling. Why are stories so important in a carpentry interview?
Stories make your answers more interesting, relatable, and memorable. It's not just about listing your skills, it's about showing how you've used them in real situations. Stories help the interviewer connect with you and understand your experiences.
Right. Anyone can list skills on a resume, but stories make you stand out. So when you're preparing for your interview, think about the stories you want to tell. Stories that highlight your love of carpentry, your commitment to quality, and your ability to overcome challenges.
Exactly. And be authentic, be enthusiastic, let your personality shine through.
Love it. Be yourself, but with extra carpentry flair. Okay, before we sign off, I want to point out another helpful tip from the RoleCatcher Guide. It talks about the importance of asking thoughtful questions at the end of your interview. Why is this so important? It really shows you're taking the interview seriously and thinking about being a part of their team.
Exactly. It shows you're invested.
Okay, awesome. So we've covered so much today, from how to answer tough interview questions to how to show your passion for carpentry.
And don't forget how to use AI to really make your answers stand out.
Absolutely. Remember, RoleCatcher is there to help you prepare every step of the way, from practicing your answers to refining your delivery.
With the right preparation, you can go into that interview feeling confident and ready to show them what you can do.
I love that. Confidence is key. And you know what? I have a good feeling about this. I think you're going to walk into that interview, impress them, and land that carpentry job.
Me too. Just remember to be yourself. Let your passion shine through, and you'll do great.
And don't forget to use those stories. They'll help you stand out from the crowd.
They really will.
All right, everyone, that's it for our deep dive today on preparing for carpentry job interviews. Good luck with your interview. We're rooting for you. And for all you listeners out there, keep building, keep creating, and we'll see you next time.